Hello peeps, Dee here. Welcome to my channel, welcome to my studio, and welcome to this little tutorial on making simple earrings. These are very simple. Yep, these are the ones we're going to make. These are others that I made using the same basic technique. And here are some peace signs that I made using the same technique as well. We're going to be making clay template. This one is the one I make in class. And as it is clay, as long as you don't lose it, you can make more earrings. Yeah, not that it's so difficult to make a fresh one. Anyway, so that's all I have to say. That's what we're doing in this little tutorial. Quite simple. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is make a little drawing of what you want your template to be. Now here is my little branch template. You see? There we go. And I think I'm going to make another branch template, but I'm going to make it shorter. So you're just going to want to draw whatever it is you want. Now, I'm using Kato POLYCLAY, so I can make these templates very fine. In other words, see how thin this is right in this area? Well, that's fine because the clay itself is quite strong, so I don't really worry about it snapping at that point. So that is something you'll have to consider too, is the strength of the clay you're going to make your template and your earrings out of. Okay, just something like that. Simple. I'm not making these leaves very complicated. They don't have a lot of cuts in or anything like that. They're actually quite a simple shape. Now at the end, this is where I'm going to be attaching a ring. See, like that? So it's got to be big enough to actually drill a hole in. So maybe the hole goes here. Okay, so once you've got your image drawn, then you're going to go over it a couple times. Just lay on a little more graphite. Now, working on this particular deli paper, I find is really good because it's easy to draw on, but also when I lay this on my clay, the graphite releases from the paper very easily. Okay, just something like that, simple stuff. So you're just going to draw whatever it is you want. See here, this is one that I did, my peace symbol, and these are the earrings that I made from that particular template. All right, so this clay has been rolled through setting 4 on my pasta machine. I could actually make it there. I think I will make it there. Let's roll this through setting 5. As I said, my clay is very strong, so I can make my templates very thin. And I won't have a problem. I did soften the clay with some conditioning bar because I find that it makes it a little bit easier to cut through the clay. without getting little bits coming off the cuts. Okay, so let's take this, lay it face down, and burnish. Like so. Now, I'm going to be cutting the template using a needle. This is an acupuncture needle. I don't know what the size is, but it's not one of those really, really fine acupuncture needles. It is quite a bit thicker. It's a larger gauge. All right, so let's take it off now, and I've transferred my template. Try to hold the needle upright as you cut through. Do the best you can. Cut all the way around. Like so. If you make a mistake and cut through, let's say cut through here, you're going to want to do the whole thing again. All right. Okay, so at this point, you're going to take a brush and just start brushing the edge a little bit, because that needle most likely pulled up. See these little bits that are coming off? Well, those are just little bits of clay that were pulled up by the needle itself. Okay, so just get rid of some of them. You're probably not going to be able to get rid of all of them. It's not critical at this point. There we go. All right, now I'm popping this in the oven. I'll be back. All right, so while that's curing, let's talk a little bit about these. Okay, so I happen to like very light jewelry. I don't like really heavy things. And so I want you to look at how thin this is. You see, very thin and quite flexible because it is so thin. Now, if you're, whether you can do this or not and make them this thin largely depends on the clay you're using. I don't know what clay you're using. Most are pretty strong these days, but there are definitely clays that are just not durable enough for this process at all. Okay, so some, and I only work with Kato POLYCLAY, so I can't even really tell you which and what. Okay, largely it's going to be experimentation on your part. If you make something and it just breaks, then you can try making it thicker, and that will make the piece more durable, right? However, there are some clays that, as I said, by their very nature are too fragile, are too weak. Sculpt 3, for instance, too weak. You can't really do that with this. You really can't. Even if it's really thick, it's not going to be strong enough. So make sure you get a strong clay. In terms of curing, I'm not going to tell you how to cure. You're going to have to follow the instructions on the package, because I don't, once again, know what everybody's using. All right, so that's it. Now, how I made these, this is just all, these are all black clay onto which I applied paint, acrylic paint, gold, red iron oxide, and that's how I got these finishes. Okay. Hello, Donna here. Welcome to my channel. The topic of this basic tutorial is the Skinner blend. I'm holding it in my hands. It is a very simple technique for creating a sheet of color that seamlessly grades from one to another. Now, it takes 2 to do a Skinner blend, that's the minimum, but you can do many colors. You're not limited to just 2. For this basic tutorial, we will only be doing 2 colors, however. Now, the technique itself was introduced to the community by Judith Skinner, who is an artist, and I think she's a mathematician, because this is a beautiful, elegant exercise in applied mathematics, I think. So, it changed the face of polymer clay. After Judith introduced this, I think the very look of polymer clay completely changed in cane work and flat work in all ways. So her contribution to our medium really can't be underestimated. It's just huge. So let's begin. Pearl, I'm going to use pearl and blue. I've conditioned these clays, and I even softened them a bit with the clay softener. And this is approximately almost 2 ounces of clay, not quite. I've rolled these through setting number 2, so we will make our blend on setting number 2. Now, you could use a thicker setting, but it would take you longer. So 2 is a good one. Now, I'm going to take sort of a corner and pull it over to the other opposite, what would be corner, because the basis and foundation of a simple 2-part Skinner blend is a right angle triangle. So let's repeat, do the same thing, corner to corner. And you can see I have basically a triangle here. They are the same size and shape in the most elementary Skinner blend. So I will make a cut first along one, just to remove some of this rough edge. And then I will repeat and cut here. And this is where the 90-degree right angle is, this corner. The fold is here. So the 90-degree angle is opposite the fold. Now separate them. Put them back together and offset the pieces so that the corners do not meet. If the corners meet perfectly, what will happen is you will have a sheet that does not have pure pearl in this case, or pure blue. It would start at about right here, because the entire sheet would be blended. So you would have no pure color on either side. By offsetting, we will have pure pearl here, we'll have the pure blue here. The first time you roll it through the pasta machine, and we're still on setting number 2, you want to make sure that 2 colors touch the rollers, blue and white. Blue and white. What you don't want is you don't want to put a solid color on the rollers and roll it through. Not this. This is wrong. This edge is wrong. You want a 2-color side, and this will sit on the rollers and I will roll it through. So let's go. Okay, so there's the first. There is the first time through. All it did was make it longer. Now, every time after, you're going to fold exactly the same way. You're going to take and fold the same color, pearl on pearl, blue on blue, place the fold on the rollers and roll through. Pearl on pearl, blue on blue, place the fold on the rollers and roll through. Pearl on pearl, blue on blue, Fold on the rollers, roll through. Let's do this a couple more times. And if you're uncertain as to whether you folded this sheet properly, just lift it and look at one of the edges adjacent to the fold. Here's the fold right here, one. And all I see is pearl on this side. I don't see any blue. Flip it to the other side. All I see is blue. There's no pearl. That means that it is properly folded. Place the fold on the rollers and roll through again. Now, I don't know how many times I've rolled through, but clearly I'm going to have to continue this process of folding and rolling quite a few more times to get to this point. You can see the difference. So just be patient and keep folding and rolling, because there is no set number of times you're going to fold and roll. That largely depends on how translucent or opaque your clay is, the amount of contrast between one color and the other. If there is no contrast, let's say this was orange and this was red, very little contrast, it would appear to blend much, much faster. Let's say that this was translucent and this was a translucent blue, same thing. It would appear to blend much, much faster. That doesn't mean it has blended faster. It just looks like it. Okay. All right, just a few more times. And I think you've got the picture. Same color on same color, pearl on pearl, blue on blue, fold on the rollers and roll through. So I'm going to stop here. You can see it's already quite a bit better than it was before, but clearly I have more folding and rolling to do. One thing that does happen that I've noticed over the years is that in a situation where I have, let's say, white and blue, or pearl and blue, as is in this case, sometimes if I'm not careful, I lose the white or the pearl. That's why when you fold, make sure you really fold it well. Roll through. That you don't let yourself go off like this, all right? That you don't get sloppy about the way you fold the sheet. Now I've picked up some blue. I'm going to roll it through. These things will happen, but I have plenty of this pearl, so when I get down to using it, I will just cut off the area that might be contaminated with a little bit of the blue colored clay. Okay, so that's it. Judith Skinner's Skinner Blend. Once you master this technique, you're going to find you use it all the time. All the time. It is a critical technique for us in our work. So I will have more Skinner Blend tutorials. Some will be 3-part, 4-part. We'll turn this into a plug. I'll show you different ways of using it. But for right now, just master your very basic Skinner Blend. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you later. Bye. All right, so this is out of the oven. It's still a little bit warm. That's okay. It's stuck to the tile. What I'm going to do is sand this side with my Abranet P180. Much easier if you just leave it right there on the tile to sand this side. Of course, I'm going to have to lift it off to get the other side, but this is quite a bit simpler. Okay. Looks good. I want to make it as smooth as possible. Okay. Good. All right, now I'm going to take a file. I have these files. Somewhere I have a file. Ah, here it is. Metal file. I get these at Harbor Freight. And I'm just going to try to run it around the perimeter all the way around like that. And this will also knock off any little bits of clay that might be there. See, this looks a little jagged right there, so I can get rid of it. Just by doing this. Okay. Just like it to be smooth so that when I'm cutting against it, my needle doesn't get caught. Okay, that looks good. There we go. All right, let's lift it up and off. Okay, now I'm going to sand this side. Now, sanding is really helpful because by sanding it, it's less likely that this is going to stick to the raw clay. You'll see what happens here. Just gonna rough it up. Okay. Now, on this side, you want to check and make sure that the perimeter is smooth as well. I found that this side is generally better than the other, which means excuse me, I have to sand or file away less on this side. Okay, so this is pretty much ready to go. Let me blow the excess schmutz off like that. Maybe take a brush. If you have a brush, just brush it like so. All right. Now, I showed you these earrings, just black clay that I put paint on. This time, we are going to use a Skinner blend. This is gold to black. Now, I am inserting directions for a Skinner blend next. Not in the same colors, but it's the same process. So if you know the Skinner blend, you can skip it. If you don't know the Skinner blend, then I think you'll probably want to watch. Okay. Okay, peeps. So I've rolled this through setting number 4. I'm going to texture the back. This is dual plex refrigerator liner. Keeps your veggies fresher longer. It's also a really great texture. So I'm rolling it through the pasta machine with the clay, also through the same setting. So this sheet was 4, I rolled it back through 4. Now, just gonna put it on a tile. And I think I would like the gold at the bottom and the black closer to the ear. So I'm just going to put this piece like so. And I'm using the same needle I used to cut the original template. And now I will go all the way around. Okay. Just cut around your template. It's easy enough. Okay, very good. Now just lift it up. And this is what the sanding makes it easier to lift. Now let's flip it over so that we have mirror images so that the two leaves aren't exactly the same. It's one of my pet peeves with earrings. I think they should be mirror imaged. And sometimes they aren't. I don't like that. Okay, so here we are at the top. Let me cut around. Perfect. Let's lift it up. And now we will remove the clay from around. Okay, now for this, because it is perfectly good Skinner blend, I'm going to lay it out again, like so. Just fold it, like so. All right, now later I will roll it through the pasta machine, roll it back up, and then I'll have a plug. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna take a little brush, just try to see the little bits. Well, I would really like to get rid of them because I don't want to have to sand like in this space. Really rather not have to do that at all. So if I can brush those little bits that I would have to sand, if I can just knock those off, then I'm much happier. Much. Okay, good deal. This is easy enough to do. Sanding in spaces like that isn't so easy, so I'm saving myself a lot of grief right now. Yeah, I don't want any more grief. I got enough grief. Okay, that looks good. I think I will go ahead and texture this side as well. Okay. Good. Now, I will be, I think I'll put a hole right there. Okay, now I'm going to cure these. If you see anything that you think isn't quite right, just try to take care of it now. Okay, so these are going in the oven, then I'll be back. All right, so this is now out of the oven and cold, so we can remove the earrings, just like that. Let me put my tile over here. And you know, the edge looks just fine. Oh, I have a little cat fur. My life, I'm covered with fur. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to drill out these hanging holes. I do this kind of slowly because if that drill hits me, it hurts. It kind of does. Okay, wait. Let's just do this. There we go. Okay. 1, 2. This is an IKEA cork trivet. Perfect for this kind of thing if you're drilling holes in clay. All right, there we go. I've got my holes drilled. Now here I have some oval jump rings. So let me put this through the earring, through the leaf part. Okay, there we go. One more. I have to put 2 in because the leaf and the finding are pointing in different directions, or they were. Now I can connect the 2. There we go. This particular finding I can't open. It is a closed, it's a stamped piece, so I can't open it. So whatever is connected has to be connected through the means of something like an oval jump ring where you can open it and close it. But I do like this finding very much. All right, so let me get the other one done, and then I've got a new pair of earrings. Yay. Yay. Okay, peeps, so there they are. They're finished. And as long as I don't lose this, I'll be able to make plenty of them. Actually, even if I lose this, I'll just draw another one. Here's the little branch. And here is my peace sign for that. So that's it. Very, very, very simple. And, you know, I know a lot, there are many, many cutters that you can use, but you know what? It's so easy to make your own template like these that you might as well really personalize your pieces by drawing the shapes yourself. All right, so that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed class. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. And I guess that's all I have to say. I'm Donna Kato. Thanks again, and I'm signing off. Bye.